Welcome to Charts This Week, special edition. Really what I want to do is focus on here is the 4 charts that you need to look at. Really I find more and more, and I cover it in my book on cloud charts, more and more I find that there are only 4 charts that you need to look at to get a view on any instrument. So whether it's a stock, a forex rate, an indice, no matter what you're looking at, these charts, these 4 charts will give you pretty much the complete picture that you need. And so what I'm going to start with is just going through by example. Here we look at the S&P 500 index. This is the S&P daily cloud chart. So this is my chart number 1 that I would normally look at. It's a medium-term time horizon. We're thinking days, it's weeks ahead. So the daily chart on the S&P is really my starting point here. We're below the cloud here. When the lagging line in the price is below the cloud, that's bearish. So in the medium term, weeks and months ahead, we'd expect moves to the downside based on this chart. The next chart that I want to look at is the point and figure chart. This is the daily point and figure chart, and we're using a 1% arithmetic box size, but you don't need to worry about it because in the updater system you just press Shift T and it puts all the trends and targets on for you. And here we see we're in an uptrend with a 45-degree line. We do have a downside target of 1090, which would be activated with a fall below 1270. So this is really quite key chart at the moment. It's bullish, but we do have a downside target. We have that cloud telling us the downside. The point and figure gives us an extra dimension to that picture. So we've now looked at the daily medium term. We then go into the short term, taking that medium term into account. And then the short term chart to look at is the 60-minute cloud chart. The 60-minute chart is a short term chart, and that helps you think in terms of days ahead, what's going to happen in the next few days. When we look at a daily chart, we think about what's going to happen in the next few weeks. When we look at an hourly chart, we think about what's going to happen in the next few days. And here we see the cloud, the same principles apply. One of the great things about technical analysis, you can apply the same principles on any time frame. And here we see we're below the cloud, so in the short term we'd expect bearish movements here as well. So that's my chart number 3. And then I go to chart number 4, and this is now the very short term chart. This is the 1-minute point and figure chart. This 1-minute chart, we're thinking minutes, we're thinking what's going to happen today or the next day. So if you're day trading, these charts are really key. And here we see the S&P chart. Last week we had moves. Earlier in the week we had sell-off moves giving downside targets to 1304. That's where we closed on Thursday on the S&P. We see these moves to the downside, and then we've got new downside targets of 1240, 1274 and then 1240. The 1240 target not yet activated, but the 1274 target is. And so this gives me a view. We've got an upside target here that's not activated and a downtrend. So now we've got a very short-term picture where we see bearish on this chart as well. So in those 4 charts, we've managed to build a picture of what's going on with the S&P 500. Of course, the 1-minute chart will change quite rapidly because it's a 1-minute chart, and you can watch in real time the thrusts and targets kicking in. So then we go through the same principle. You can apply it to anything. So if we look at the FTSE 100, here we see the daily chart in the FTSE 100, below on the cloud, bearish, below on the lagging line and the price. From this chart perspective, bearish. So this first chart, at a glance, we can just look at it, and Ichimoku means one look. So at a glance, we can look at this and just say, right, we're bearish. And it helps you resolve the trend on any chart in the medium term. This is the daily. And then if we look here, we see very much we're on the point and figure chart, the daily, upside targets 6,500, 6,950 that's not activated. This 6.2 level is really weighing on the price. 6.1 is the level that we need to break. 6.150 would be the level we'd need to break to activate that new upside target. Very strong support here. So even though we're a bit worried about that daily cloud chart, the daily point and figure chart is telling us it's a bit too early to worry on the FTSE. So really quite key. And then if we go to the shorter term chart, this is chart number 3, 60-minute cloud. Here we see below on the cloud means we'd expect moves to the downside in the short term. So really critical, this downside chart on the downside move on the cloud here is what we'd expect. So we're bearish here. And then chart number 4, of course, is the 1 minute point and figure targets. We've got this 5800 level was given 4 times we had thrusts on the 1 minute moves. 4 times we had thrusts. That's what we call a cluster, and that's where we went, this 5800 level. When we're at 5.9, we knew this is the 5x3 chart. If you're a trader trading the FTSE, this is the target, whether you're spread betting or using FTSE futures, however you're trading the FTSE, these 1 minute targets are absolutely essential for you. And then you see 5670 as the next level given. This chart, of course, will change very quickly because it's a 1 minute point and figure chart. So 1 minute chart will change every minute. So you need to keep an eye on this in real time if you're a day trader. But this helps you get a view of the very short term. So we go through the whole process again. Let's have a look at a currency. So here we look at sterling against the US dollar. Here's our chart number 1. Chart number 1 is the daily cloud chart, and here we see prices moving above the cloud. So at the moment this is bullish. We'd expect sterling to rise against the dollar. We've got some seeing dollar falling, sterling rising, so we're above the cloud here, so that's a bullish chart. If we look at the daily point and figure target, that's our chart number 2. We've got targets of 181, 189 off thrusts on the currency there. So we've got an uptrend, little downside target, but we've got an uptrend, so we'd favor those uptrends quite a long way from here in the medium term. Remember, we're thinking weeks and months ahead when we look at a daily chart. And then if we go now to chart number 3, this is our 60-minute chart. We do see here how we have tested and this cloud. Normally we wait 3 or 4 hours to be sure that we're through on the cloud, but here we're above the cloud. This is bullish, so that fits into our picture. And of course then we want to go to the very short term. We go to the 1 minute chart. You just press the shift and the T keys on your updater system. All the trends and targets put on for you, and we see here 164.30 was the targets given back at 162, 161.50. These were the targets given. That's where we met. So really key, those short-term buying thrusts that you see in currencies, and then we got a new one, 168.40, but we need a new move above 164.60 to activate that. If you're trading Forex, these charts are absolutely essential. Forex trading, short term, the updater feed, very, very fast in the Forex feed. This is what you need as decision support. And then if we look at the next one, we can look at, say, gold. Here we see the gold chart. We see the daily chart. This is chart number 1. Bullish, we're above the cloud. It's been bullish for ages and ages and ages on gold. So we're bullish on the daily chart. Upside targets on the daily point and figure, 1650, well, we're nearly there. That was given at 1400, 1440, and 1800 was the target given at 1390. So we break 1650, we're then looking to 1800. So these targets have been in place all the way up this uptrend. Every buying thrust in the up move gives you a new upside potential target. The 60-minute chart on gold, we're really just testing it at the moment, but we have been above the cloud here. Watch how this picture develops in the next few hours. Remember, this is a 60-minute chart. You're thinking days ahead. And then last of all, of course, you go to the 1 minute chart, and this is where you get your upside targets on the 1 minute chart. And we see here we've got 1645, 1665. Remember, 1650 was our target, and then 1638 is the near side target. Little mini downside move here, but these, again, it's a 1 minute chart. If you're trading the gold price, this is the chart you need to look at. So those 4 charts are the ones that you need to have a go at, and those will give you the picture on any stock you want to look at. Go to a stock, use that same template. I'd like you to take the updater challenge, download a trial of Trader Pro and see for yourself. Just these 4 charts will give you the complete picture you can't get anywhere else. Remember, our systems are used by market professionals in 50 countries around the world, and if it's good enough for market professionals, it's good enough for you. Take the updated trial today. Until next time, happy charting. See you then.